I went on a 2-week death march. I overdosed and I swore I was not going to use or drink again that day. I found myself 4 hours later using. And I walked over to the mirror and I looked at myself in the eye and I was higher than hell. You should jump out the window. Just do it. You want to die. You hate yourself. Like, just end it.
Please welcome to the camp Michael Chernow.
I mean, I'm a self-proclaimed savage. I just am. That's how I get after life. Every day you wake up, the show starts when you open your eyes. Today's the fucking day. Like, I run to the heart, especially if you're swinging for the bleachers. It's going to be hard. I'm not unique. I'm not some special dude. I just have experienced life and have the courage to share about my story. My dream of being able to help other people, specifically other men, is working. And so I appreciate you guys saying that. It means a lot. If you are finding yourself in the past or in the future, just remember it's no place for you. And the best way to just get re-centered is just to close your eyes and breathe. That's it.
Welcome back to another episode of the Who Thought We'd Be Here podcast, a show about mental health, wellness, and bettering yourself. Our guest this week on the show is none other than Michael Chernow. Michael is an entrepreneur, fitness coach, wellness expert, and podcast host. Michael has an incredibly inspiring story that starts with a drug and alcohol addiction in his youth that almost took his life, all the way up until today as a successful business owner with over 20 years of sobriety under his belt, and most importantly to him, his role as a loving father and husband to his family. In our conversation, Michael offers incredible insights on living in the present moment, creating work-life balance that works for you, as well as mastering the habits of your diet and exercise to live the best life that you possibly can. Michael also is the founder of Kreatures of Habit, one of the fastest growing companies in the wellness space that is built on optimizing your daily habits and putting what's best for you in your body. As always, we appreciate each and every one of you who listen to this podcast, and we hope that you gain something from this episode. Share this with someone you love, and as always, like, follow, and subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts. And now, without further ado, here's our conversation with Michael Chernow.
We've all worked in restaurants, the three of us combined. I mean, like, I have a very similar story to you. Like, I started when I was 15. It was like the first place where chaos was all around me, so I felt comfortable because I wasn't like running around away from the stuff in my head from when I was a kid. So like it just came natural, and then you're in that environment and it kind of just seems like everybody's doing stuff like that, you know? So like I got into cocaine when I was like very young, and it just seemed like by the time I was like in my mid-20s, I was like, everybody does this, like, and you think it's normal. I think as I got closer to 30, seeing like, looking back, I was like, I can't do another 10 years of what I've just done to myself. Like, and I wasn't happy at all, you know, like, cause you're just pushing everything down and suppressing it. So taking that time to like look in the mirror and like go through, like make those changes.
I mean, I don't know anybody who could honestly say that they're happy if cocaine and alcohol are like a relatively big part of their lives. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
well, you're using it to like be happier. Like,
right.
That's how you and I both used it. Oh my God, man.
Right.
Like,
you know, I've yet to find the person that's like, yeah, you know, I drank and sniffed blow and my life is dope. You know, life is sick. I don't think those two things work together, you know. But I can say that, you know, 21 years off the sauce, like I spent the day with my kids on Saturday, took them to the CrossFit Games, went to the fucking opening of the Bass Pro Shop. Like, dude, we had the best day ever. Like, it was truly like a fucking awesome day. And like, does it get better than that? I don't know. You know, I really don't know. I you know, like I was also sitting at the pool on yesterday with my kids hanging out, and I like stopped for a minute and I looked around and I was like, does it get better? I don't know if it gets better. You know, like would another fucking 7 zeros in my bank account feel great? Probably. But does it get better than this? I don't know. I just don't, you know, and I think that that's a gift of being sober.
That's one of the things that we wanted to talk to, which maybe we can get into later in the episode, which is that like what redefining kind of like what fun means and things like that after you get sober. Because I've certainly realized that when I quit drinking, that I was like, oh wow, there was like a solid 20 hours a week that I was just spending at the bar, hanging out. And maybe I wasn't getting hammered every night. But then when that is gone, you have to find new ways to like fulfill yourself and find fun.
Yeah, I believe that human beings weren't meant to live in an alternate reality, right? Like we are designed to be able to withstand the pain of life. Life is painful. It's just a fact for everyone. No one's got it like easier than anyone else, right? We all like, it depends on, and it also depends on what you want to do, right? Like what is your goal? What are you here to do? For me, I've been like, I mean, I'm a self-proclaimed savage. I just am. That's how I get after life. And so my goals are high. And when you have lofty goals, like it's just more painful, right? Because you've got to deal with the shit that most people don't want to do. And that said, when life feels good, sober, that is a real feeling. That there's not, you can't compare it to anything else, because it is like as pure as we were brought on this earth to be, right? No added sugar. Like this feels really good for real. You know, like I'm not adding something to enhance this experience. I'm living a real, pure, wonderful moment. And, you know, I've had a lot of those, man. And that's why I think, you know, I'm not a young guy, but I'm not an old guy. You know, I've been sober basically half of my life now. And, you know, I don't know if I would say, you know, the balance of good and bad days, but overall, if somebody asked me like, you know, how's my life? I'm saying my life is fucking amazing. It's just amazing. I feel so lucky and so blessed. And I could point to a number of different things that help that to be the case. But I also think that I was born kind of this like just overly optimistic person. You know, like I do have like a glass half full mentality 95% of the time. And so fun is, I just think more and more people are coming to the realization that life, with all the pain involved, can be super fun. And you don't need, you know, I was speaking to somebody recently in the wine business, and he told me that wine sales are down 40%. And I was like, wow. I was like, wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like that's real.
Yeah.
Like that's not 5%, 10%, 20%. That's not like the pandemic. That's like, no. Like wine sales are down 40%, meaning 40% less people are drinking than previously. And I think it's because like people are like, especially the younger generation is like, hey, like let's experience life, you know? I can't tell you the amount of times, this is also another crazy thing, that my kids go to this really cool school. And, you know, at the school, whenever there's like a kid thing, like a talent show or like a play or like an event, the director of the school says, hey, parents, do us a favor. Don't pull out your phone and take pictures and videos. Experience what's happening right here. Like actually experience it. Don't like, your phone doesn't need to experience it. You should experience it. Put your phones away and be here. Don't feel like you need to capture the moment. Capture it right here. And and that happened a few years ago. And so I do believe that like that is another thing that's happening, where it's like, hey, you know, we've turned to the phone as another form of addiction.
It's the most addicting drug on the planet, and it's right in your pocket all time.
All the time. And your phone has the best life ever.
Dopamine is, the dopamine
gets so
hit
much
is,
attention.
Yeah.
How much attention does the phone get?
Look at your pickups on your screen time. That's where you'll find out, right?
Dude, imagine you gave to anyone that you love in your life as much attention as you gave to your phone.
I just had a daughter, and I was taking pictures this morning of her. And as I was taking pictures of her, it hit me like right away, looking at her through the lens of my camera. I was like, just put this down for a second. Let's just enjoy this. Like, this is for me. This is our relationship that we're growing right now. And I need to be here for this, not looking at you through this. Like, pictures are great. Like, it's going to be nice to document her experience in her life, but I'd rather be able to see it in my head, her growing up.
Look, I think that there's time and a place, right? Snap a couple of pictures.
Of course, we just did it right before this podcast,
right?
Yeah,
Totally.
You have to,
but you know, it's just the evolution, right? Like you're able, like people will ask me, hey, do you have like before and after pictures before you got sober? And I'm like, no, like we didn't have fucking phones everywhere. Like people weren't walking around with cameras then. You know, I mean, I sound like an old man, but it's the truth, right? And so it's just the evolution of the humankind, right? I believe it's the demise of humankind, but you know, I make a great living on social media, so you know, I can't knock it.
It's a balancing act. Yeah.
It's a balancing act.
Mm-hmm. I think how do you like approach something like that? So your business, your personal brand, all of that stuff based on social media, that's where you make the money, or that's what at least like kind of like leads to making the money. What like specific things do you do to carve that time out for your kids and even for yourself?
So I've created like really, really hard and fast boundaries in my life. And I am not one of these entrepreneurs that think there's no such thing as work-life balance. Like that could be true for some entrepreneurs, some business people. For me, it's just not true. I have serious work-life balance. I have breakfast with my wife and kids every single day. I have dinner with my wife and kids every single day at 6 o'clock. I mean, unless I'm traveling, of course, or if there's like some crazy deadline that needs to be hit, you know, I'll be like, hey babe, I'm not going to make it home for dinner tonight. But those boundaries are very, very hard and fast for me and thick. They're not even drawn in the sand. It's like in concrete. The first 2 years of my son Finn's life, I did not have those boundaries. I was scaling my last restaurant brand, Seymour's. And Finley was born in March. I opened the first Seymour's in June, and I went on the road to shoot a TV show in August. And I just kind of got back from shooting that show. It was like 6 weeks on the road and just all in on Seymour's and building the business. And I lost the first 2 years of Finn's life. I really did. I wasn't home for dinner. I was working late, so I slept through breakfast most days, you know. And if there's one regret I have in my life, only one, it's that I did not have boundaries. And so the message to the entrepreneur, or just anybody really, I believe at the end of the day, what truly matters is how much time you spend loving and laughing with the people in your life that you love most. Like that, I believe to be true wealth. How much time are you spending laughing and loving the people you want to spend time with and be with? And if you spend more time behind the screen, you might wear that as a badge of fucking strength or honor that you're a hardworking. But when it all boils down to the end, I promise you, that strength and honor you're going to wish you would have been spending with the people that you love most. And so I'm getting ahead of that. I'm getting ahead of it. I want to spend, and I don't care. Like, I actually had a guy on my podcast like 3 or 4 years ago, this guy, Gino Wickman. He wrote the book. I mean, he created this thing called EOS, Entrepreneurial Operating System. Really cool concept. He's kind of famous for it. A lot of entrepreneurs have picked up his philosophy. But I had him on the podcast, super successful dude. And he was like, yeah, man, I take 150 days off every year. And I was like, 150 days? And he was like, yeah, 150 days. He's like, every single weekend I take off. That's fucking 104 days right there. And then he said, I take the month of August off. That's 134 days. And he says, I take at least 2 10-day vacations a year. 154 days. That's what I do. And I was like, I'm going to do that. As soon as he said that, that's when that switch flipped. And I was like, who am I working 14 hours a day for? Me or you? Who am I doing it for? Realistically, right? Like, I don't need to drive a Ferrari. I remember also, like, Gary Vee is a lead investor in Creatures of Habit. And he used to say this thing, would I rather be crying in my Ferrari or laughing in my Camry?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And honestly, laughing in my Camry all day long, I just would. So.
Yeah. I think a lot of like entrepreneurs or anybody who's trying to build any type of business or dedication like that sounds nuts to them to take. It's like, I take 15 days off a year, you know what I mean? Something like that, which to me is also crazy. But then what in practice, how does that look in terms of like your boundaries? You know what I mean? Like, how does that look in terms of like the people that you work with, and how do you establish that between your family and then like being dedicated to it? Because you obviously have built like with a lot of success in that space, and people would be like, well, how did you do that while taking off 150 days a year? Look,
I think that there's a trajectory to it, right? Like, I don't think, I don't know. I can't tell you whether or not this would be the case because I did what I did, but I worked, when I launched the meatball shop in 2010, I worked 18 months straight without taking a day off. And most of those days were like 16-hour days. I almost lost my marriage. And I was so physically sick because of the stress levels and the lack of time to myself that my hands and my feet were so swollen and inflamed, I had to get my wedding band cut off my finger. So I understand the early entrepreneurial mindset, which is at all costs, I'm going to make this thing succeed. And if that means that I've got to be here around the clock, I will do it. And so I understand it. Now, looking at it in hindsight, I don't think I needed to do that. But maybe I did. So I know that that's kind of like a wishy-washy way of explaining this, but the fact is that I don't know if I would be in the position that I'm in today had I not put in those hours. Although now I know that I don't put in those kind of hours, and I'm doing okay. Now I'm kind of like, I'm tailing Gino Wickman pretty closely, man. Like I don't work on the weekends. I typically do not work after 6 o'clock at night. Very rarely, unless it's absolutely necessary. I definitely take 2 vacations a year, not 10 days, but 7 days. And I take 2 weeks off in either June or August to be with my family in Europe because my wife is Danish. So I'm not at 150, but I'm at like 125, 130. And it works. Do I think that I could be, do I think Creatures of Habit could be in driving more revenue if I were to put in an additional 30 hours a week? Maybe. Am I okay with where we are? Absolutely. Do I think that life, like, Do I think that I want to live to work or work to live? I want to work to live. I think that's okay. I really believe that that's okay. And, you know, when I think about the happiest place in the world, statistically, Denmark is been categorized the happiest place in the world, right? Like the people are happiest there. Everybody's out of work at 4:00. The government rewards you for having children. They pay women to have kids. So you get pregnant as a woman, they pay you for a year maternity leave. And now they've actually given families an opportunity to split it. The male and the female can split that time. Do I think that's fucking awesome? Hell yeah. I think it's awesome. And it also is it's producing the happiest people on the planet. And I'm here to tell you that I know that to be true. Mm-hmm. I love going to Denmark. Denmark's one of the coolest places in the world. My wife is Danish and we go there all the time. And it's amazing. My in-laws are incredible. All the people, my brother-in-law is the greatest guy. And they all are home for, 4:30, 5 o'clock in the evening to be with their families. And, I also, when we were in Denmark a month ago, we have a friend out there, and she was telling me that she was speaking with someone who was unfortunately passing away, and the person knew he was passing away, and he was a young guy, he was like 50, and she asked him so it's coming to a close, like, what is it? What's it all about? And he said, at the end of the day, all that really matters is how much time you're spending with the people that you love. Period. Done. Yeah. That's it. That is all that matters. So we've been, things have driven us when love is supposed to be driving us. And things have taken the place of love because we believe that the more things we have, the more people will love us. Back in the day, I'm talking back in the day, there weren't that many things, right? It was like, you didn't
know about them because like we have phones and we can see everything that's going on everywhere. You weren't necessarily aware that this person had the Lamborghini in Italy or this person had that in Denmark, right?
Right, but I'm talking about far back. I'm talking about like hunter-gatherer times. Like it was like, yo, man, you got the deer, you didn't. You know what I'm saying?
We didn't die today.
Right.
We didn't die today. It was a great day.
And by the way, that's the way it was for, I don't know, how long have people been walking on 2 feet? 1 million years? Like, for the first 9,500,000, whatever it was, 995,000 years, that's the way it was. And in the last, couple hundred years, it's been about the Lamborghini.
Yeah.
So, we're love beings, man. There's very few beings on planet Earth that are capable of loving. We're one of them, humans. And that's our purpose. And, all the decisions that I've made in my life, drinking, not drinking, doing drugs, not doing drugs, all of them have been in the name of the desire to want to love and be loved, whether I think so or not. It's just a fact, right? All the crimes I used to commit in an effort to want to love and be loved, So I think it all boils down to love. I really do. That's what I believe.
So you're 21 years sober now, you're basically flip-flopping so for me right now, I have all of that time that I feel like wasn't spent the right way. And now I'm trying to build back up and be more like the person I want to be in the future that has spent more time being the person I want to be than the person that I was before. What is that like for you now that you can say that I've hit this point where like, I know you have your values, you have your habits, you're a creature of habit, all of those things, you can say that they've paid off now in the long run. So for the people like me and JP who are not 5 or 10 or 15 years down the road, but you're doing these things consistently and you don't see the big change because you don't have the timetable for it. What would you, piece of advice you would give to those people?
The only thing we have in life is right this second. Right now. Yesterday's gone. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. All you get is right now. Period. Done. That's what you get. Today's the fucking day. And you can cry about the past, worry about the future, and get fucking pulled right out of the only important moment in your life, which is right now. So time sober, it might sound awesome to say 21 years sober. At the end of the day, I'm a second away from blowing it. Mm-hmm. As long as I stay in the present moment. You know, I've said this a lot because I think it is the truth. Every day you get up, especially for a person in recovery, every day you wake up, the show starts when you open your eyes, right? That's when it all starts. It starts when you just, boom, open your eyes. You have an opportunity to take full advantage of your life because your life is today. Like I said, right? Like this is the only time. What I said a second ago is history, man. I cannot change it. It's fucking being recorded right here. Yeah. It's gone. It's gone. There's nothing I can do. So the second you open your eyes, you have an opportunity to take advantage. And I believe the morning is the time to pour the concrete. I just believe that. It's been my story. Every single structure that's built today is built on a foundation. Poured concrete, rock hard, so that when the wind blows and the rain falls, the structure stays sound. If you build on dirt, the rain comes, turns that dirt into mud, structure kind of topples a bit. So you get an opportunity in the morning to pour the concrete, right? What are you doing first thing in the morning to set yourself up for success? And I believe in morning routines. I believe that morning routines, like, you know, people have rolled their eyes at me over the years because of how crazy I take this morning routine thing. Now, I've fluctuated a little bit over the last 6 months just to give myself some grace. But really, when I go back to this structured morning routine where I'm doing all these things, I just feel better. And for a guy like me who is a true alcoholic, drug addict, like, I need to feel good. I just do. I need to feel good, or else my brain starts to eat itself. You know, I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm never going to do it well enough. I'm not tall enough. I'm not good looking enough. I'm not ripped enough. You know, all those I'm nots just start to slowly creep back in. And so for a guy like me, I need that morning routine, that morning foundation, that structure. And, you know, I kind of think about it like this, where, like, you know, you're watching the Olympics and there's a 400 meter sprint and everybody lines up on the line. They put their hands down. They hear the ready, set, their ass comes up, they're ready to go, pow, gun fucking blasts, boom. Everybody runs off the point, off the line. One guy trips. The chances of that dude catching up to the rest of them are just slim. Don't be the guy that trips in the morning. Just fucking prepare yourself, you know, just like be ready. You open up your eyes, that's your time. That's the time to go. And, you know, I've seen miracles happen. I'm a miracle. You guys are miracles, right? Like, you know, I had a guy also on my podcast, this dude, Dr. Russell Sarosky. He's a double board certified neurologist and addiction specialist. And his brother passed away from an opioid overdose, fentanyl overdose. And so he spent the last 10 years of his life really focused on trying to understand the brain and the mind of an addict. And what he's concluded through human clinical studies is that our brains are different. Alcoholic, like he was like, you're not an alcoholic. He was like, you have alcoholism. It's a fucking disease. And when I came into the program early on and everybody, all these old timers were saying, yeah, you got a disease. I was like, I just fucking like to drink, you know? I like run away from my life by drinking. Like, it's like a disease. I was like, I don't know if it's a disease. Well, it's a fucking disease. Yeah. It is. It's scientifically proven that our lipid system actually fires like 10x to a normie or someone who's not an alcoholic or has alcoholism. 10x. So our dopamine is like, like we find something that we like, it's like, and it's very, very hard for us to, now I'm living proof, you're living proof, you're living proof that you can flip it on its head. But from my experience and my journey, my story, you do need to find something to reallocate that energy towards. And so fitness for me has become that thing and was that thing from day one. For the most part, I got very lucky. I met a guy who just introduced me to this world of wellness. In those days, it wasn't called wellness. It was like, you're going to work out and you're going to eat well. Now it's wellness, but that's what I sunk my teeth into. And that's what's given me this opportunity to not only like be sober, but to like walk through life confident. Right? Like I know it's such a weapon to be able to say something and know you're going to do it. Like that's a weapon. You know, Creatures of Habit. I am going to, it not only is successful, but I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do with that business. Why? Because I'm confident in my ability to stay consistent, to not falter when it gets hard and scary, to stick to my boundaries and not like uproot my life and change everything, but know that I am going to die on the hill because I am a fucking alcoholic. And like I was willing to do anything necessary to get the thing that I needed to get in those days. Well, today it's all channeled positively. I am willing to do whatever it takes within this boundary that I've set to make sure that that business is successful. And knock on wood, so far, that's wood. I've done it with 2 other businesses, and I'm going to do it with
Imagine that wall just fell.
But you know, like there's like for anybody who's you know on the fence on whether or not they should get sober or struggling with addiction, like I'm just here to say the power that you have that you just don't know about, because you have a brain that is capable of like doing things that you say you're going to do. The power of that, you have so much leverage in life, like so much, you know, like you talk about like loyalty and commitment. Like how committed were you to drinking?
Yeah, I mean, every day.
How committed?
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day, as much as I could, you know? Yeah. As soon as I clocked in, I was just like, I'm going to start drinking now, and by the time 7, 8 o'clock rolls around, the people at the bar are going to be fucking loving me.
Yeah, so
you know?
Nobody thinks about that when they hear alcoholic. They think of like deadbeat.
Yeah, sitting on the road with like a cup in your hand.
Yeah.
We're talking about some of the most committed people on the planet.
Yeah.
So committed. There are people in like all over the country right now that are so committed to their drinking and they're doing drugs that they're willing to cut their fucking arms off and their legs. You talk to these addicts that are on, you know, trank or whatever the fuck they're doing now, and they're like, yeah, like, it's what I do. Like, I'm going to lose I hate it, but it's just what I do. Imagine you find a way to pull the drugs and the alcohol from that person who's got that ability to commit no matter what. Like, that person is...
I don't care if the owner is getting married tonight. I'm still getting hammered behind the bar.
I mean...
Right?
Dude,
that's commitment.
It's like... You pull away the negative substance. You pull away the negative energy, or the channel that alcoholics have traditionally poured their energy into. You take that away, and you give them a support system, you give them something that's going to make them feel good in a positive way, man, I am like the poster child of that, you know. I was a diehard alcoholic and drug addict. Like I just was, you know.
I think between the three of us, we could put all of our feats on alcohol and other stuff, and you know, wouldn't be pretty.
Yeah.
So going off of that, I think one of the things that in particular that I deal with, especially being like recently sober and being not so proud of the decisions I made on alcohol and because of it and because of other substances too. What did that look like for you in the beginning when you first got sober, of kind of capturing that present moment of that was who I was, this is who I am now? And then what does that look like for you now in terms of dealing with just like the guilt of, I made a lot of poor decisions, but this is my life now?
Let me ask you a practical question. Name me one positive or progressive thing that feeling guilty about what you did on alcohol provides you today. Just name me one.
Going to the gym.
So you think you go to the gym today because you feel guilty about what you did in the past?
No, it just makes me feel better about myself.
Okay.
I don't necessarily have something that helps me deal with that guilt.
So, but do you think that guilt brings you any like positivity today?
Oh, see, I misunderstood your question. No, I don't think it does at all. No, not whatsoever.
So the way I think about it is the second that you are spending, the minute you're spending, the hour you're spending, the days you're spending feeling guilty about what you did in the past are seconds, hours, and days you are not spending focused on crushing today. People are going to remember you from what you do today and going forward, especially if you outperform the past, right? Like, no one remembers Apple, the cell phone company, when they were struggling. Everybody remembers and thinks of Apple as the number one tech business in the world of all time. And that's because every day they focus on being the number one tech business of all time. They don't think about like when the shit went upside down and they had to bring back fucking Steve Jobs, and like no one thinks about that.
Yeah.
So I really try my best to stay out of the hair of the past and, like I said, focus on today, because today is the day. Today is the day. And, you know, I did some unsavory, not so awesome things that I would say I'm not proud of. But I just don't spend time thinking about that because it's not doing anything for anyone. I have gone through the steps multiple times. I have made amends to many, many people. I've done everything I can to show that I not only have like reflected on and have spent time with the things that I've done in the past, but I'm using those experiences to be the best version of myself today. And anybody who I talk to who is like, man, I just can't get over what happened, I'm like, that is not doing anything for you or anybody else around you, by the way. You know what I'm saying? Like, the person that you harmed would probably appreciate an apology, but certainly doesn't want you to sit in your shit and potentially be harmful towards others or yourself, right? So I just, again, like, you know, I believe in setting goals. I believe in having targets. But if you can't find a way to be present, and again, I think the way that works is understanding that today's the day. It starts in the morning when you open up your eyes. You have an opportunity to put numbers up on the board today. You know, that is the number one most important thing. And funny enough, like, on August 2nd, which was Saturday, it was my anniversary, I called this guy who saved my life, basically. This dude who swooped in when I had the courage to, ask for help. He swooped in and he gave me this whole plan on how to change my life. And I call him, we're still good friends, but definitely I call him on my anniversary asking for specific advice. Hey dude, like drop some gems on me. And so Saturday night, after spending a day with my kids, then coming home, my wife cooked dinner and it was awesome and delicious. I went out onto my property, I lit a cigar and I called Marcus and I was like, yo dude, give me some of the good, man. Just give me something. And he reminded me, he was like, yo dude, like if you are finding yourself in the past or in the future, just remember it's no place for you. And the best way to just get re-centered is just to close your eyes and breathe. That's it. Do that for 5 minutes, slow it down. Feel your breath. I think a lot of us spend time there and there. It's so much easier in life to spend time there and there. Because when you're not spending time here, it means you don't have to do shit. You spend a lot of time there, a lot of time there. Like all that's happening here is muted out. Where the good stuff happens, it all happens right this second. If you're not here for it, it's gone. There's a book called The Power of Now by this guy,
Eckhart Tolle.
Eckhart Tolle. And, I've gone back to that book so many times over the years. And there's a line in that book that just says it all. He goes, everything happens right now. It all happens right now.
Mm-hmm. I think it's on the back of the book even. That line might be on the back of the book.
That's just a fact. Mm-hmm. It all happens right now. Mm-hmm. And it's your choice whether you want to be here for it or not.
I think something that's big in that too is belief. You have to believe that you're doing this to be better and that it's going to get better. And like, I know you've talked more recently about God and having a relationship with a higher power. I'm very much in the realm of like, the universe has got my back and I'm going to trust that the universe is going to conspire for me and I don't have to worry about it. Just show up and do what I'm supposed to do and stay in flow. How has that been how has that changed for you throughout your years of sobriety, finding belief like in times where it's hard to like think that it's getting better, just having that belief and like having a connection with something higher?
My relationship with God is very simple. I pray every single morning. I've had the same prayer for a very long time. I've actually recently changed a few things in my prayer, but I've had the same prayer for a very long time. I do not overanalyze my relationship with God. I do not try to intellectualize it. I just know that I've been blessed and lucky enough to stay sober on a daily basis for 21 years and 2 days. And one of the first things I do every single morning is check in with God. So a lot of people, let me reframe that. I used to think when bad shit was going down, I'd be like, God, how could you possibly let this happen? And now I believe, it's my belief, that if there's a God, there's also an enemy. Right? And the enemy could be known as the devil or whatever you want that to be, the negative components of life. Life is always going to be hard. I mean, we started the podcast by saying that. Especially if you're swinging for the bleachers, it's going to be hard. So, and some people are a glutton for the hard. Some people, and I guess I would be categorized as one of them, like I run to the hard because I know the other side of fear is freedom. I like to stay on the other side of fear. Although there's many times where fear just really creeps up and it's like that big scary cloud in the sky and you're just like, oof, that is going to be a storm. You know, like, what are you going to do? Are you going to run underground and like wait for it to pass and hope you survive it? Or are you just going to be out there and just run to it, deal with it, put on a fucking raincoat, you know what I'm saying? Get through it. But my relationship with God, my higher power today is really, I connect every single day. And when the enemy tries to take me out, the bad stuff in life, the curveballs, the catastrophes, the difficult things, my consistency and connection with God gives me the strength to push through that stuff. It doesn't make it less hard, but I believe that I have a connection and I will get through whatever. Like, I have gotten through, and so have you too. And so is everybody listening on this podcast. If you are alive, you have gotten through everything life has thrown your way. You've already gotten through it. You already gotten through it. We are designed to get through hard things. We were created to be able to experience awesome shit and really difficult things. And so when it gets really hard, I look up and I'm like, man, hook a boy up with some of that strength. I just want just a little strength, just a little confidence. Like, don't let those, you know, the I'm nots show up. And if they do, help me to turn the volume down a little bit, you know? I think I've done things like I do a lot of breath work, I meditate, I pray, I exercise a lot. I've done a lot of things over the years that I've added to my life that have certainly turned the volume down on those voices and turned the volume up on my awareness. And, you know, like, I'm not one of these guys that opens up a self-help book and reads the first page, like all self-help books, saying, hey, this book is going to change your life. Like, it's not. But what the book could do is just turn the volume up on your awareness a bit. Maybe you read a line in a book or hear something on a podcast or watch something on a TV show that just hits you. And you're like, okay. Now when that thing happens, my awareness level is enhanced a bit and I'm just going to be a bit more aware. And I can know that, like, I'm going to be okay, you know?
We've heard your story before about you getting sober, but like, we both worked in restaurants. We like, the culture of that is so, like I said, like, not even necessarily in restaurants, but in everything is so normalized in terms of, like, it's normal for you to get hammered every night. It's normal for you to be drinking, and it's also normal for you to be making like poor decisions. What was that like for you in the like? What do you think was the thing in the beginning that, like, you really latched onto? Like, if there was one thing in the beginning that you feel like saved you from relapsing or going back, what would you say that thing is?
Fitness.
I think it's three things. I think it's you know, well, I think it's four things. One, I really do believe I was done. I believe that I do believe that God kind of just stepped in and I was ready to receive it at that moment when I picked up the phone and called up this woman, Karen, who introduced me to Marcus. Marcus showed up. He was this tough, cool dude covered in tattoos. He had a big fucking gold Rolex on. And he walked in that day that I decided to get sober, and he told me he was sober for 12 years. And I looked at him and I was like, whoa, that's what it could be like? I could do that. Yeah. Like, I want to do that. Like, I wanted to impress him. I wanted a pat on the back from him. I looked up to him almost immediately. And that, I think, was pure luck that he walked into my life. So I think that's a big piece, right? And that's why I've tried to be, not saying that I'm like this big, cool, tough guy with a gold Rolex, but I do think that I am a guy who's sober a long time, who other dudes that are looking to get sober could look to and say, oh, wow, like, he's living a cool life. Like, I could do that. I want to do that. And so I think that's an important piece, or at least it was for me, finding someone who you want to, like, impress. And you know, we're people pleasers. All alcoholics are people pleasers.
It's a good way to be a people pleaser. Yeah.
You know, yeah. So that was a big one for me. He told me I had to pray every morning. So actually, I'll just tell you what happened. So I overdosed 2 weeks before I got sober on heroin, right? I overdosed and I swore I was not going to use or drink again that day. I found myself 4 hours later using. And I had made a decision at that point that this is how I was going to die. I just died, came back to life. I'm right back at it. I have no control over this. This is what it's going to be. I'm 23. I hate myself, and let's just end it fast. So I'm going to go on on a bender for as long as it takes till I'm cashed out. And so I did that. I went on a 2-week death march, and then the morning of August 1st, I was up for 3 days. The guys that I was with on the roof of my apartment building in the East Village said, "Hey, we're done. Like, we're going to head home." And I was like, well, I'm not. You know, I still got a pocket full of drugs and a bunch of warm beer, and it was like hot as hell in New York City. And I walked back downstairs to my apartment, and I walked into my bedroom thinking that I was just going to just continue to just go until, I don't know,
failure.
Yeah, go to failure. Yeah. And I caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror. I had a wall mirror right behind my door in my bedroom. And I caught a glimpse of myself, and I stopped. And I was higher than hell. And I walked over to the mirror, and I looked at myself in the eye in the mirror. And I remember this clearly. And I said, "I hate you. You should jump out the window. Just do it. Just be a fucking man. Stop being a bitch. You want to die. You hate yourself. Like, just do it, dude. Just end it. It's like, this is miserable. Like, you hate this life. You're the problem. Just jump out the window." And I remember having that conversation, sitting down on my bed, starting to use again. And then I didn't jump, obviously, but I blacked out. And I came to about 16 hours later. And I knew I had slept through work. I called my boss. He fired me. The only thing really tethering me to like life was my job in a restaurant. It's the only place that I can live the way I was living and still have a job. But he said, "You're dying, Mike. I can't do this. Like, everybody knows it. We love you, but you're a young guy and you're dying, and I'm not going to pay for you to die on my watch. So you're done." I begged him for my job. He told me that I can come back to work in the morning and clean the restaurant with the porters if I got sober. And I don't know, man. For whatever reason, so many people in my life told me I needed to get sober. But for whatever reason, that day, that morning, I heard it from Frank. And I said, "I'm going to get sober." And I got off the phone with him. I immediately called this girl, Karen, who I knew from years ago working in this nightclub, who always kind of took me in. You know, I moved out of my parents' house when I was really young. I was like a true New York City, crazy kid on the streets. And she said, "I'm calling my boyfriend. Stay where you are. He's going to come meet you." And so she called Marcus. Marcus came, and he sat with me, and he said, Tell me your story. This is the guy with the tattoos and the gold Rolex. And I told him my story, and he listened to me for hours. And when I was done, he said, "I'm going to help you. Like, I'm confident I can help you. Just like I sit with new guys today. I am confident I can help you." Because I know. He knew because he did it. I know because I did it. So when I sit down with somebody who's trying to get sober for the first time or looking to get sober, I'm like, I know I can help you. I don't know if I can change you, but I know if you follow the suggestions I could put in front of you, 100%, you've got a good shot. And he said that to me. And he wrote this plan for me. He said, "This is what I want you to do. I want you to wake up as early in the morning as you can. I want you to get out of your bed, turn around, make your bed right away. As soon as you're done making your bed, go into the bathroom, brush your teeth, floss your teeth, wash your face, take a piss. Right when you're done taking a piss, get on your knees and ask God for help. I don't care if you believe in God, you don't believe in God. You need help. You have not asked for it. This is a great practice to get into the habit of asking for help. ask God for help. And all it has to be is, God help me. Right when you're done with that, do as many push-ups as you can. Go back into your bedroom, put on a pair of sneakers, get out of the house and take a walk. Hopefully that walk will turn into a jog. That jog will turn into a run. But just get outside, move your body. When you're done with that, come back in. I want you to make a bowl of oatmeal, first meal of the day. Just make a bowl of oatmeal. It's easy, it's inexpensive, it's filling, it's healthy. You can make it taste however you want to make it taste by adding berries and nuts or whatever the fuck you want to it. When you're done with that bowl of oatmeal, go down to this meeting at 10 o'clock. And he told me where to go. He said, sit as close to the front as you're comfortable with. Raise your hand. Tell him who you are and why you're there. Your name is Michael and you're an alcoholic and a drug addict. When you're done with that meeting, try to hang out for a little bit, talk to a couple of people, and then meet me at the gym that I'm going to train you at. And I'm like, this is all coming to me. Like, I'm day one. I'm like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? But I looked up to him immediately. I wanted to impress him. So he just kept going down the list and he said, I'm going to teach you Muay Thai kickboxing. And I'm like thinking to myself, well, I did kind of want to be a ninja when I was a little kid, you know? Like, I always wanted to be a ninja. And so I'm starting to get like, all right, like, cool, this guy's going to teach me how to be a badass. And he goes, you know, and we're going to train. I'm going to teach you how to be a man in there. I'm going to teach you about commitment and discipline and courage and integrity and all this shit. And then when you're done training, you're going to go have a chicken and broccoli. That's what you'll have for lunch. You'll go home, you'll take a nap. You'll go to work. You'll have chicken and broccoli for dinner. Try to get home as early as you can. Right before you get into bed, drop on your knees, say thanks to God, get into your bed, close your eyes, and go to sleep. Rinse and repeat. That's your fucking life. If you follow that plan, I promise you, with all of my heart, you're going to have a life way beyond anything you could imagine today. He was right. I follow that plan to a T. And I still follow that plan. And my life is way beyond anything I could have ever imagined. Like way, way, way beyond. Way beyond. And it's not because I'm driving a Lamborghini, because I'm not. I've done well in business. But it's because I love who I am today. And all those things that he told me to do were little habit stacking systems to bring confidence into my day. Controlling the controllables. 95% of life we can't control. As soon as somebody walks into your periphery, you've lost control. That person could talk shit about you, swing, hate you. There's so many things that can happen when somebody else walks in. Mm-hmm. So if you can take care of a bunch of things early in the morning, like the reason why I have such a structured and strong morning practice, and why I believe it to be such an important, integral piece of life, whether you're in recovery or not, is because of Marcus. Because he gave me these things in the morning. He said, these are the things that you should do. And I mean,
they work.
It works, man. Yeah, it works, you know. It works so much I created a business around the oatmeal.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm. It almost sounds like the answer to that question is like, don't give yourself time in the day to like let your mind wander.
Stay active.
Yeah.
Stay active.
Have it planned out, scheduled, especially in those early stages.
Stay active, especially when it comes to things that are going to increase productivity and confidence.
Building that evidence of who you are as a person.
Totally.
I might have been doing heroin a week ago, but today I went to the gym. I ate healthy. I went to work.
I brushed
went home
my teeth,
before
dude.
having a drink.
I brushed my teeth.
Yeah.
I flossed my teeth?
Yeah.
Wait, I washed my face?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Thinking about that, like, as a drug addict, waking up in the morning is, like, nuts.
Yeah, dude.
Just
Brush your teeth in the morning? Yeah. Like, when was the last time you woke up in the morning?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
That was such an interesting thing for me when I first got sober, because working in a restaurant, I was just like, life starts at like 12:30 when the doors to that place open, and I was never awake before to see what was going on. We were lucky if you
were there, bro.
And now it's just like, I live in the morning. Like, my whole day is structured very similar to that. Like, I'm big on running. Running is like everything to me. That's where I can clear my head and just be myself and be okay, you know? And that translates to everything else for the rest of the day, just starting with that kind of routine.
Yeah, man. So I guess that was a very long-winded way of answering your question, but story. Ultimately it's, you know, having a morning routine and structure where I'm connecting to God, fitness, the sober community, and like what I choose to consume, what I choose to put into my body.
Yeah.
You know,
I think that's a good place for us to talk about like the importance of, I don't know if it's like your diet, but like that regimen of what you got to eat, because I know that ties into Creatures of Habit. That was such a big part. As you said, that like having those like kind of meals kind of planned out kind of helped you figure that out, right?
Well, I mean, like eating healthy is a win.
Of course, yeah.
You know?
But it's
like,
hard to eat healthy when you're doing any type of alcohol, you know what I mean? Like
Sure.
that's just kind of, it's like a domino effect.
Replacing a line of Coke with a fucking grilled chicken salad is
Bowl
a
of
win.
oatmeal?
Yeah, it's a win.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just a win.
Yeah.
For someone who struggles in that world, right?
Yeah.
And so like and by the way, like the relationship that we as humans have with food is one of the most intimate relationships. It just is. Our food, the things that we eat, the things that we drink actually make us build protein, create fat or not. You know, like they not only do they physically make us, but like the things that we put into our body also have a deep impact on how we feel about ourselves and how much energy we have. So I found how I move my body and what I put into my body, the easiest ways to control wins on a daily basis. How I'm moving, what I'm eating, what I'm drinking.
That's such a simple way of putting it. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, it's
Control
so true,
it,
though.
right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
and it's not about like being a control freak. It's like, hey man, we don't get to make decisions, final decisions on most things in our lives because there's other people involved. The things that we can be the final decision maker on, what we eat, whether we're moving or not, exercising or not, like own those, because I promise you, it's gonna develop. You know, I call it the 3 C's, man. Like you commit to a life of movement and healthy eating, right? You commit to it. That is like, that will change anybody's life. Anybody's life, if you can commit to that. You are going to be better, feel better, look better, perform better by moving and eating well, right? So you commit to that. The commitment over time breeds confidence. Confidence is what gives us the ability to sort of feel freedom, right? To feel like we're in our own skin, we are who we are. We're confident in who we are. I'm not constantly trying to get out of myself, constantly trying to feeling self-conscious and thinking about what everybody else is thinking about me. I'm confident because I've committed to these 2 things that ultimately deliver confidence. And then with enough confidence, courage is inevitable. And courage is what it takes to really win. Marriage, kids, business, fitness. Like, you want to run a marathon, dude, that shit takes courage.
Starts with the mile, you know?
Yeah. It starts
Commit
with
to the mile
the early commitment.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna run. I'm not gonna run a marathon tomorrow, but I'm gonna run a mile tomorrow. And so I kind of call it the 3 C's because I believe that you want to get anywhere, whether you apply it to a goal or whether you just apply it to your life in general, right? Like those 2 things I believe to be the easiest pathways to feeling better in life, what you're putting into your body and whether you're moving or not. Committed to over time, life just gets better, you know? So I think those things, you know, to be able to control the controllables and start your day with a structure and also give yourself grace in time, you know, like give yourself grace in time, you know, like for the first 10 years of sobriety, I went to an AA meeting every day. I did.
10 years?
Yeah.
Wow. Every day.
Every day.
That's
I mean, of
incredible.
could
Yeah.
miss days here and there, but
Yeah. No, but that was your,
you know,
yeah. It wasn't in the plan to miss one. Yeah.
Yeah. I had a commitment to my same home group for 10 years. I had a commitment. I chaired a meeting 10 years straight. And now I'm sober, some time. So I don't have to make a meeting every single day. Some people do. Mm-hmm. Some people do. And I don't knock them. Go, like, if that's what you need. I personally don't think I need that currently, right? Maybe I'll get back to needing to go to meetings all the time. Right now, I've got a lot of sober friends. I connect. I probably make a meeting every couple of weeks. And I check in all the time. But that first 10 years, I mean, I needed it. I needed to be consistently reminded, And so, yeah.
I think community too, as you get sober, becomes like very, very big. I just became a part of like a run club, and like I'm running with athletes that are running like marathons, running a 5-minute mile. And like, I'm not running that fast, but to see them doing it and like knowing that it's possible is super inspiring. And I think when you first become sober, it's like you kind of try and find, and you're like, nobody, like, it's hard, what I mean? It's hard to find a community of people that are like-minded. I think it's incredible what you've done with Creatures of Habit, building a community like that, because now you have a bunch of people that are locked in and have the same beliefs behind that. Doing something for myself in the morning to better myself is really going to project me throughout the rest of the day. I don't really know where I was going with that.
Well, look, I think community is ultimately a massive catalyst to just happiness, right? Like we've said a number of times throughout this podcast, spending time and laughing with people you love most, that's really what it all kind of shakes out to. Like, how much of your life are you spending doing that? Community for me has been just a huge part of everything I've done, and specifically in business.
How much was that a part of building the brand for Creatures of Habit is what I was going to get to.
The whole entire business was built off of my community. The community that I've been working on building through my personal brand really over the last 10, 12 years. So I built this community of people that are just like kind of looking to just be a little bit better on a daily basis, right? And not be the best, not win every race, but just like, hey, like, I want to be just a little bit better. So like, what am I going to do? And when I say be a little bit better, like not having to do different things, right? Like, Kobe Bryant was in the gym at like 4:00 in the morning shooting 500 free throws before the rest of the team. He didn't do anything different. He didn't shoot like free throws and 3-pointers. He shot 500 free throws every day, and it just made him better. Just a little bit better than yesterday, because maybe he hit 336 of those out of the 500. I believe, consistency, you just get better. And so the community is of that mindset, right? Let's just be a little bit better on a daily basis. But when I got out of the restaurant business in 2019 and I knew that I was going to create another business, I knew that it needed to be in the world of wellness. Wellness is the foundation of my happiness and success in life. And I just knew that had to happen. And I was trying to figure out what the hell I was going to do, because then the pandemic hit and my restaurant days were like, I was like, oh, I'm not opening up a restaurant. And then I was on a run and it all came to me. I was like, I'm going to take this damn oatmeal that Marcus told me to eat years ago, that I've been eating every single day, that's powered me through recovery, powered me through, getting married and having kids and building businesses, like powered me through becoming a fucking marathoner and a pro bodybuilder and like all these crazy things that I've done over my journey in sobriety. I've been eating this breakfast every morning. I just have. It's what I have. If I could figure out a way to get my crazy 17 ingredient oatmeal concoction into a pouch and make it easy for people to have that as their daily day starter, not only do I think I have a cool business that is going to give people an awesome, convenient tool to just draw a line through breakfast, never have to think about that again, but it'll give me an opportunity to do what I'm doing right now, which is tell my story and help as many human beings as possible that struggle with addiction. That's the story. So it's not, people aren't necessarily excited to hear about the recovery story coming from a guy who's slinging cocktails in the restaurant business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we both know that. Yeah, for sure.
This business has given me an opportunity and a platform to tell my story of overcoming adversity and the tools that I've used to help me do that. And it's not a business built for people that are in recovery. It's a business built for people that are just looking to optimize life. When I was not sober, I wanted to optimize and get sober. I was given these tools. And so I've created Kreatures of Habit. And so we make this super awesome, tasty, high protein overnight oatmeal. Mm-hmm. And it's the oatmeal that I've been eating forever and ever. Now we've just made it super easy for people to consume. It's got 30 grams of protein. It's got chia seeds, flax seeds, and pumpkin seeds. It's got a probiotic, digestive enzymes, vitamin D3. And those are the things, that was like my supplement stack every morning. Omega-3s, probiotic, digestive enzymes, vitamin D3. That was the stack. And then I just had my oatmeal that I added a bunch of protein to, and the seeds and the nuts and the pink salt and the things that's in it now. And so I spent a year working on creating the formula, created it, put a cool brand around it, called it Kreatures of Habit because I'm a creature of habit, and we launched. And knock on wood, we're coming up on 4 years and it's kicking ass. And I can honestly say, there are thousands of people that subscribe to this product every day, every month. And I call a lot of people that are subscribed to it, and I speak to them and I ask them their stories and really? How'd you hear about us? I should be recording those calls because the stories that I get of the way we've helped people change. Whether, people heard me on the Rich Roll podcast and decided to take a step and support the business, and then all of a sudden realize that they've got a little flagpole in the beginning of their day that screams, hey, you got this. If he can do it, you can do it. Change people's lives, man. It's amazing.
Yeah. It's such an interesting story of how that comes together. Yeah. And
now you're giving people the opportunity to be a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
Is Marcus a part of it?
Yeah, so we just kicked off. We kicked off a crowdfund. I'd never thought about crowdfunding before. I always thought crowdfunding was like sort of this last ditch effort. If your business isn't able to keep up, you're not able to raise money, man, you just got to ask everybody, to give you a couple $100. And I was, stopped by someone who I highly respect in the world of business, said to me about 6 months ago, hey dude, have you ever thought about doing a crowdfund with Kreatures of Habit? And I was like, no. And he was like, dude, you've got a great community. Why don't you bring them along the ride with you? Why don't you give them an opportunity to be a partner and investor in your business? You've got thousands of raving fans that love this product. Give them a chance to hop on the boat with you. And I was like, interesting. I started doing some research on crowdfunding. So a lot of brands that I love had been very successful in crowdfunding. And I was like, wait a second, this is a real thing.
Mm-hmm. It's not just a GoFundMe or something.
This is brands that have community. You turn your raving fans into owners.
That's the way to turn somebody who's going to be a customer for a year into a customer for life.
For life. And not only are they customer for life, but they're now an owner in the business.
Yeah.
Genuinely. And it's $300 if you want to, you can invest whatever you want, but you get a little chip. And anybody who knows me knows that I'm going to die on the hill. This thing is going to be successful. I'm going to fucking go, I'll do whatever I got to do to make it successful. Anybody who knows me knows that. So I just said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to reach out to all the, to everybody in the community and say, hey, throw a couple of $100 into this thing, become an owner. If I win, you win. And we'll give you a bunch of free products, or we're not free, you're investing, but we'll give you a bunch of product as a reward for being a part of it. And the more you invest, there's bonus equity incentives and all sorts of cool things. But, I'm not a big Tony Robbins fan. I got nothing against the guy, but he's a really, really smart dude, obviously. And what he says is, develop a community of 1,000 raving fans. That's all you need. 1,000 raving fans, because they're going to tell everybody they know. about your business. A raving fan. It's like, you know, when the Red Hot Chili Peppers come into town, I love the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I'm calling up my boys and I'm like, yo, Chili Peppers are in town. Let's go. You know, raving fan, man. I'm telling everybody, I'm trying to get them all in. Yo, guys, let's go. So that's what we're doing. We just kicked this thing off and it's going incredibly well. I mean, it's only been 3 days, but you know, we've got, I think over 250 grand invested so far. We're going to raise $1.25 million. And, you know, I'm trying to bring the community, the Creatures of Habit community. I'm trying to give them an opportunity to be an owner alongside me and guys like Gary Vee and Lance Armstrong and a bunch of other great people that have invested in Creatures of Habit over the last few years. You know,
what's the next move for Creatures of Habit with that being in place?
Yeah, so the next move, we're launching a protein bar, which I'm really, really excited about. Launching a protein bar. I can't tell you exactly what the secret ingredient is, but we got a secret ingredient.
We'll talk about it after the pod.
Secret ingredient of the protein bar that I think is going to help people. It's going to help us stand out from the pool of protein bars.
It's everywhere.
I would love to have a protein bar that I felt good about eating every day. I just don't. Most protein bars, even if they taste good, make me want to, you know, pop into the bathroom and take a squirt. Yeah. Don't love that. So I wanted to create that, but also give another sort of feature to the protein bar. So we're doing that. And we're also going to be working towards getting into retail, right? I want to get into grocery stores eventually. And that's really how you sort of 10X the business is, you know, you get into retail and you're successful on the shelf. And so we're working towards that. Probably in 2027 is when we're going to do that. I'm taking my time with it. I'm not, you know, I'm taking my time with it. And, you know, look, the goal is to 10X everybody's investment. So I have a pathway to do that. And the goal is to sell the company in 2029. And so I've always had my crosshairs on that number. And I think I'll reframe that. We'll get there.
Yeah. We're still trying to get over the fact that you're here doing this podcast. Like, I mean, this was like a pipe dream for us, you know, when we first started this. I said that to him on the ride up here. I was like, 2 years ago, we couldn't even like fathom the fact that we'd be doing this in a studio, let alone that like somebody who we looked up to, who was on a podcast that like we really resonated with their story would be like, yeah, I'll do your podcast. So, we just want to say thank you for doing this. Like, your story means a lot to both of us.
I mean, guys, I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. Hearing that from you, honestly, I've tried to be better at receiving that kind of compliment. Traditionally, I'd be like, oh, come on. But I think I've gotten a little bit better at being like, thank you. Thank you. It means a lot to me. It really does. Because I know the greatest form of gratification and accomplishment in my life is to be able to impact the lives of others through my experiences. I'm not unique. I'm not some special dude. I just have experienced life and have the courage to share about my story. And my dream of being able to help other people, specifically other men, is working. And so I appreciate you guys saying that. It means a lot. You know, I don't actually like, I still don't believe it when people say something like that to me, because I don't think I'm anything special. So I appreciate you saying that. And hopefully one day or maybe not. Maybe it's great to feel like, hey man, you know, just a normal dude, just doing what you're doing and telling your story. And that is how I kind of walk through it. You know, I've been lucky to have other people think more by sharing my story. I think more people need to share their story and their experiences and be vulnerable.
Well, I think that's a good outlook on it, because that's one of the big things for us is like, you might be extremely successful and be on a bigger platform than most people that we've had on here, but at the end of the day, you're just another guy. And what we want is people who are just regular people that have figured out their life to come on, be able to have an open and vulnerable conversation. This way, somebody listening at home can hear that, and like you said, maybe it clicks with them, and like that's the start of a change. The first time I listened to you on Rich Roll, you talking about your morning routine, like I've had a morning routine since I got sober. Like it's always been big for me, but there's just certain things about the way that you went about the conversation that clicked with me, and like prayer was never really that big for me. It wasn't ever, it's like I said, I believe in the universe, and like I'll write it in my journal and say thank you, but like it wasn't ever something that I had really approached until I listened to you talk about that. And now it's something that's a part of my morning routine, is just saying thanks and please, just if I need something today, help out a little bit, you know? So it's inspiring, and we appreciate you coming on to talk about all of this.
Well, one last thing that I would just say, and I think it's super important to mention, and maybe people will resonate with this, maybe they won't, but the greatest gift I have in life today is my family, my wife and my kids, my relationship with my sister, my mother. But I think really I'm so lucky to have two sons that I fucking truly love, and I just know love me back. Like when they look at me and they say, Dad, I love you, I don't want you to go down to the city today. You know how like I just it rocks me, because that just wasn't my story. The greatest gift I've been given is the ability to have broken the chain. I broke the chain.
That's how I look at my daughter every single morning now.
Broke the chain, man. I broke it. My sons tell me, Dad, don't leave. I love you so much. Dad, let's go throw the football. Let's go throw the football. Like the relationship I have with them is only made possible because I'm sober. Had I not gotten sober, I don't have shit. And I'm now able to experience this so special part of life, the love from a father to his kids, parent to the kids. It's something that is indescribable. And I didn't think, in the beginning of my life that would be anywhere near possible for me. I thought I was going to be dead by the time I was 25, So that is a true gift, man. It's a true gift. It's been awesome to spend time with you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much for doing this, Michael.
Yeah.
We appreciate your time. Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right. We thought we'd be here.
Yeah.